Hi guys, hope everyone is well and welcome back to the Improvement Podcast. So today I want to talk about what not to do and getting back into the gym. So today, obviously being the 7th, hopefully it's not too late for you to get this episode and listen to it in terms of already being back in the gym. But if you are, hope you've enjoyed it and hope you've not made the mistakes that I will be going over yet. So to start off, in terms of a wee update from myself, not really much has changed. I had a good New Year. I went to a log cabin with my girlfriend, so that was really nice. And now I feel like I've, had a nice break from work and all that. And I'm just excited to get back to normality. And I've now got 12 weeks until my contest prep starts. Those that don't know, I am competing in a natural bodybuilding show. The show is not yet decided, but that will be towards the later end of this year, which is what I'm prepping for, really. So although it is a time now I'm gaining to give back to people important around me, that sort of thing, it's also got a big sense of urgency because 12 weeks isn't a long time at all, especially when it comes to gaining muscle tissue. So I'm really just going to be trying to pack on as much muscle as I can before I start my competition prep, because when you're dieting, we know you don't build tissue as well. Like you unless you're just starting out, it's going to be very hard to build muscle when you're in a dieting phase because your body fat's lower, you've not got the excess calories to build that muscle, and you've not got as much stability or strength in the gym. So jumping into the podcast, talking about what not to do when you get back into the gym. First of all, I want to touch on nutrition. So what you shouldn't do is go extreme with your calories. And I think this applies to if you do want to bulk, or if you want to cut, or if you're wanting to lose weight or gain weight. So my dad actually asked me a question this morning, actually. He was like, what should I do with my nutrition or with his food or diet, because he's starting the gym again. And what I said to him, I was like, just leave it for now. It's like training on its own is going to make change. So you don't have to think just because you're in the gym, you need to flip your diet on its head or it needs to change drastically, because just training on its own, if you want to lose weight, it's going to have benefit for it because you'll probably gain some muscle. You might lose some body fat, just not worrying about your food. And as well as that, if you are trying to gain muscle, then you'll be able to gain muscle at maintenance if you aren't used to going to the gym or if it's not something you've done in the past. So as a result, you don't need to stress what you need to do with your calories, because if you are trying to diet, if you can lose weight now without focusing on like eating less, and when your weight does stall, you stop seeing changes, then you can drop your calories, then you can worry about your nutrition. Whereas you could say if you're already doing it, then what are you going to do when your weight stalls from there and then things stop working? If you can get away with doing less and getting more out of it for now, then why don't you, if you're looking to just lose a bit of body fat? And on the other end, if you're looking to build muscle, if you can gain muscle in and out and lose body fat, which is definitely possible, like if you're starting the gym as a beginner, if you're training hard and sleeping well, then when it comes to like you're like, oh, I'm not getting that much stronger, I'm not putting that much muscle on now, then you can start increasing your calories. And since you built muscle and lost body fat just sitting at a calorie maintenance, not worrying about your food, then you most likely are in you are in a better position to build muscle, because you're now probably a wee bit slightly leaner, meaning if you are wanting to bulk, then you'll have more room to push your body weight up and basically more room to gain a wee bit of body fat, because when you bulk, you will gain body fat. It's going to happen just because a byproduct of eating more is going to be gaining fat, because you can't just gain like all the weight you want to gain as muscle. It just doesn't work like that. So that is something very valuable to consider. And as well as that, when you are training, ease into things. And the reason why you should ease into things is because you'll be really sore if you don't, because when you do anything that you're not used to doing, let's say it's training, let's say it's, oh, sorry, that's quite vague. Let's say it's training in the gym, or let's say you're running or doing any type of sport that you don't do frequently, you're going to be sore from it because it's new. It's a new stress on your body, basically. And as a result, you will be very sore after it. So it's good to not go full pedal to the metal, sorry, whatever you want to call it, when you get into the gym. So let's say a couple of years ago you used to go to the gym, you done, like, let's say a bog standard, you done a chest day or upper body day, and let's say you done 3 sets. Right now you can start at 1 to 2 sets. You'll probably find if you do 1 to 2 sets and you're training quite hard, you'll still be sore off that. And then like the week after, you can then do like one more set, and then you can keep creeping them up until you find, right, I've got a decent level of soreness, or that, or you're doing the amount you want to do or you think's good for yourself. Obviously, if someone wants any advice on how much sets they should do, etc., I've got podcasts covering setting up your split and like volume, etc., so you can listen to that, or just let me know and I can help you just through Instagram or whatever you follow me on. But yeah, you also don't need to train super hard for your first session back. So for the same reasons, you only have to do like, or you don't have to do as much sets. You've not touched a weight in ages, or you might not have touched a weight in your life. This might be the first time you're getting into the gym for whatever reason, if it's to lose weight, if it's just because you want to build muscle, whatever the reason is, like because you've not done any like weight training in the past, I do advise training to failure. But for your first week, for the first time you've been in the gym, or the first time in years you might have been in the gym, whatever one it is, you don't need to do like ridiculously hard training. Just push yourself a wee bit, but don't absolutely burst yourself, because you can do that the following weeks. And next up, something I'd like to say is it's a marathon, not a sprint. What if you want to build muscle or lose body fat, it's a marathon, not a sprint, whichever one it is. You can only progress so much in a week. What I mean by this is, if you've ever done any sport, or basically with anything in life really it applies to, you can only get so good at something in a week. Usually when you get good at something, whether it's like maths for your exams, or if it's a sport, if it's learning a language, you're not going to do it in a week. So it usually takes a long time of staying consistent to it. Building muscle or losing fat's the same, because nobody makes nobody reaches their goal in a week. So you have to think about what can you stick to, and then when you know what you can stick to, do that. So what this basically means is you don't have to train 7 days a week, because that's going to be hard to stick to long term. And compliance is the science at the end of the day. Or what that basically means is you want to make sure what you're doing is sustainable. So if training that much isn't sustainable, then don't do it, because you're not going to get results from hammering yourself for a week then falling off track. Even if that's 3 days, you can still make progress off that. Will it be a wee bit slower? Potentially, yes, but you can still change your split so it suits training 3 days, that sort of thing, and you can still make a lot of progress, especially if you're not used to training. And next up, don't do what you hate. So if you absolutely hate squatting and you're joining the gym, you've got different choices of exercises you can do to train your legs. And squatting is going to make the difference from sticking to your program or not, or going to the gym or not. Then you don't need to squat. There's nothing you need to do. Sorry, just taking a drink. Yeah, so what I was saying is, when it comes to training, there's not one exercise that you need to do to build your legs. It doesn't work like that. And anyone that says that, that's probably a red flag, and you probably shouldn't take advice from them. So yes, exercises can be beneficial. They have their place, but nothing is a must. Nothing is necessary. So if something makes a difference from you sticking to training, then just don't do it if you really hate it that much. And the reason being is, Do you think you're gonna stick to something you absolutely hate week on week, month on month? Most people do a sport or do some sort of training, not because they want solely the benefits from it. Obviously, they will, but because they probably enjoy it. It's probably something they're passionate about. It's probably something that inspires them. So this doesn't apply to just one odd exercise. It applies to what you do in a gym as a whole. So if you love doing like cardio, you love improving your fitness, you get a lot of satisfaction from that, then not that I think that's the best thing to do if you want to improve your appearance or lose fat, but it's what you enjoy. So if you do what you enjoy, then it will be so much easier to stick to it. So bear that in mind, regardless of like what gym you're at or that. Just try and make it enjoyable. And if that means like doing like arm supersets at the end of your session, getting a good pump, or simply like doing a split that you think might not be the best for you, but you love doing it, then go for it. So I've kind of covered what you shouldn't focus on when it comes to training in the gym. Now to jump into what you should focus on when getting back into the gym. So when you go in the gym, you want to gain consistency. So as I said, you only make so much progress in a week. Progress comes from week on week, month on month, year in year of doing something, because you do not get good at something overnight. You don't reach your goals overnight. So it's about doing what you can to stay consistent. Again, if that's 3 times a week, that's perfectly fine, but you just want something you can stick to, and you want to rinse and repeat that. And just because someone can stick to 5 days doesn't mean you have to. People have different responsibilities. For example, if let's say someone who is in, let's say they're in college, they've got SAS, or they've got, they get money for being at college, and they live with their parents, they don't have a job outside of that, they don't have a partner, then they can probably commit more time to going to the gym than a single mum with 2 kids who works 6 days a week, that sort of thing. So you don't need to go 6 days, you don't need to go any amount. Just do what you can stick to, because it's better than nothing. What you should think about is better, not best. So if you can stick to training 3 days, that's going to put you in a better position than training 0 days, isn't it? And next up, if you do want to progress in the gym, this applies to basically any form of progression in the gym. If it's strength, if you want to build muscle, if you want to lose fat, if you want to get fitter, if you want to improve your agility, focus on sleeping well. So again, you might think, why am I talking about sleep? What's the point in that? And the reason I'm talking about sleep is it helps your consistency, because if you've got energy, if you are in a better mood on a daily basis, if you recover better, you're not super sore all the time, and if you're progressing in the gym, you see yourself progress, you're seeing the rewards from it, you are going to want to go back. You're going to be more likely to stick to the gym. And the reason this applies to sleep, and the reason these wee things are like linked to it, is because sleep improves all these factors. Sleep shown to improve your performance, your mood, your energy levels, and if it, like I said, improves your mood, energy levels, you're going to be more likely to get your sessions and not skip them. If it also helps your performance, you will see more progress. And if you see more progress, you'll be so much more likely to go back to the gym and keep doing it and not just fall off track, that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely try and focus on sleeping well. This is something I've also got a podcast on if you're interested in it. But most of the time when I get clients come to me, like one thing everyone can improve upon is their sleep. And it's not always the funnest things or the most exciting things that help you progress. Sometimes it's just stay on a weekly basis, make sure you're getting that much sleep, keep that up, keep your sleep up, you know what I mean, do this, do that to try and improve it. And it's just wee boring things sometimes. It's not always fancy or glamorous trying to like build muscle. It's just repeating wee things like that. And next up, what you should focus on if you are getting back into the gym is having protein around your session and in general. So I'm not going to say track your food, eat this amount of protein, eat this amount of fat, eat this amount of carbs, because that's not sustainable. But I think everyone can just make a wee bit of a conscious effort to eat more protein. And I don't think that would do you any harm if you're getting back into the gym. So it doesn't mean, like I said, you need to go overboard in it, but just be conscious of, like, I'll have some chicken with my dinner instead of just pasta, or I'll buy a bag of protein. I'll have a scoop before and after. Super convenient way to make sure you're getting servings of protein in before and after your session, which will then help you recover and progress. And just maybe thinking, oh, I'll have some yogurt with my breakfast, or like a high protein yogurt or something with protein in it, just to get another serving in throughout the day. And again, it's not that, it doesn't take that much effort. It's just about trying to find foods you know you enjoy that are high in protein, and just being a bit more conscious about implementing them. But like I said, don't go overboard with this or focus on much else with your nutrition, because you're most likely gonna see change if you're consistent to the gym and you do wee things like what I'm talking about right now. Doesn't require you to totally stick to like 6 meals a day, eating foods you don't like. Next up, again, something that's just good for your general health and everyone should try and do as a whole, regardless if you're trying to get in the gym or not, is making sure you're hydrated around your session, and specifically going into your session. So the reason we want to be hydrated effectively is it will decrease our likelihood of injury if we are hydrated. We will perform better if we are hydrated. Overall, we'll have more energy and we'll have a better quality of life if you're hydrated. And something I like to say is a hydrated muscle is a well-functioning muscle. So just simply paying attention to how much water you're drinking before your session can be a great way to start. So even if like you have no focus at all on how much water you drink throughout the day, maybe you're really bad for it, somewhere to start is just carrying a water bottle with you and just sipping it throughout the day. If you've got the water there, it's going to be much more easy to drink than if you've not got any at all. So yeah, that's a big tip that I think is really valuable. And again, to conclude, what I'd like to say is do what you can stick to. So progress comes from long-term consistency. So it doesn't matter if you're perfect for the week, because you'll likely make a bit of progress. You might lose, even if your goal's fat loss, you might lose, let's say, 2 kilos, let's say you had a class week. But then if you fall off track, the pendulum will swing the other way. And then you will probably gain 2 kilos back. You'll have tons of food because you're like, screw this, I can't stick to it. Focus on what you can stick to. Do that day in, day out. If you're making progress magic. If you aren't, then try and do something else you think you can stick to that you know is going to push you towards your goal. And yeah, so that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if anyone's got any episodes they'd like to see on certain topics, let me know. And if you are watching this on, or listening to, sorry, on Spotify or iTunes, please leave me a rating and review. And if you're listening to it on YouTube, please subscribe and like the video. So hope everyone has a great day, and thank you for listening.